Never underestimate the importance and power of knowledge. Even one bit of information that adds to our understanding can make a huge difference in any field. In his book, Business at the Speed of Thought, Bill Gates relates the story of when Rolls-Royce, the world-famous luxury sedan car corporation, put itself up for sale about 4 decades ago. There were two main customers in the fray, BMW and Volkswagen. Finally, Volkswagen won and purchased Rolls-Royce Corporation for $780 million. But after the deal was complete, they realized a slip that had taken place. They had purchased the factory and the assets of Rolls-Royce. However, the rights to the use of that name, which was considered the highest brand in luxury cars worldwide, belonged to another company called Rolls-Royce PLC. And to make things worse, BMW had a share in Rolls-Royce PLC. So guess who got to use that luxury car brand name? It was BMW. And without it, all the factory etc. did not amount to much, and ultimately Volkswagen sold it all off to BMW at a throwaway price. So guess who manufactures Rolls-Royce cars today? It is BMW. This was an example of a decision being made with insufficient understanding, created by lack of information. Another such episode took place with the early colonists who came from Europe to the Americas. They took back with them a plant they had found, which was called tomato. In Europe, a botanist looked at it and said this was the dreaded wolf peach, which if taken would cause foaming in the mouth and it could even cause death. So nobody consumed it. However, these colonists, because of long sea voyages and travel in the Americas, were suffering from a terrible disease called scurvy. The reason for scurvy was deficiency in vitamin C, and the most powerful source was growing right in their gardens, tomatoes. But they were not consuming it because of lack of proper knowledge. It was only 100 years later that when more understanding dawned, the paradigm changed and people had the cure for scurvy, adding tomatoes to their diet. Likewise, in life too, we all look for happiness but experience misery. We want life but move in the direction of death. We want true love, but we experience selfishness in relationships. And the solution to all of this is knowledge. One patient arrived at a doctor's clinic. He was having a terrible ache in his stomach. Since the doctor wasn't present, the patient was obliged to keep sitting there for an hour. Finally, when the doctor reached and understood the patient's symptoms, he said, "No worries, I've got the ideal remedy for it right here in my cupboard." The patient said, "Doctor, the cure was present here in your cupboard and I kept on suffering due to my lack of knowledge? The doctor said, that's exactly how it is. The reason for all our suffering is lack of knowledge. Let's see what the Bhagavad Gita has to say on this. I'm reading from my commentary, Bhagavad Gita, the Song of God, verse 4.38. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram vidyate tat swayam yoga sansiddha kale natmani vindati. Lord Krishna says, in this world, O Arjun, there is nothing as sublime and pure as divine wisdom. One who has attained purity of heart through prolonged practice of yoga automatically sees the light of truth within the self in due course. So true knowledge is so powerful that it can burn away the stockpile of sins of our endless lifetimes. There was in the year 1666 AD the biggest conflagration in recorded history. A fire that began in a bakery in London quickly spread to decimate 13,200 dwellings in the city of London, plus 88 churches and hundreds of government offices. It burned to the ground 20% of the then London. That is the power of fire. And Lord Krishna says, knowledge has the same power in its ability to destroy the reactions of past karmas. So let us with great eagerness pursue true divine knowledge from a sublime source where it is so abundantly present. And that source is our sacred Vedic scriptures. The Mukut Mani of them is the Srimad Bhagavad Gita or the Gita-Upanishad.